Is the stock market sell-off just beginning? First up, let's take a look at a daily chart of the S&P 500 SPY ETF. So let's crack open this chart and see what's going on in the stock market today. Alright. Today's SPY was down 0.52% and we did close just below the 5 EMA and we did gap down and close above support at 436. But keep in mind the market was closed yesterday, so I wouldn't necessarily trust this gap. Yes, it's still a gap, but if we traded yesterday there would likely be no session gap, so I wouldn't put too much attention on that gap above. So from here, SPY is either going to bounce or die, and if we don't bounce from 436, we're likely coming all the way back down to the breakout just below 430. As I've told you many times, because this is a bull trend, even if we come back down to 430, it's still possible we bounce off there after forming another higher low before the next higher high. So yes, it is likely we will continue this pullback, especially if we break support at 436. And the most likely retest is that breakout at 430. That's also a retest of this rising 20 daily moving average, which is also going to be in that support zone. And if we break that support at 430, we're likely coming down to close the gap just below 423. It is very unlikely this gap at 423 is going to remain unfilled. That is very likely where we are going to see the stock market correction taking us to. It's just a matter of how we're going to get there and what time frame we're going to get there in. Don't just assume we have to go straight down to that gap and fill it now. We could easily fill that gap later in the summer. So right now we have all eyes on support at 436, and if we break 436, we'll be looking for 430, and the upside resistance remains 441, and if we break through all of that resistance in the low 440s, we will be looking for those higher targets at 448 and 451. This is still a bull trend until it's not, so respect the fact that we have a powerful bull trend, even though in the short term we are likely due for that pullback. Also notice today we had extremely low volume, so we're just not getting high volume selling, and that could be a sign that we may not be going too much lower. On the NASDAQ 100 triple Qs, we were down 0.28% today, and we are continuing the sell-off that we started on Friday. But as you can see from the price action, we didn't even close below the 5 EMA. The most likely target for the triple Qs during a pullback will be a retest of the breakout at 355. So just like SPY, even if we get a pullback to that level, it's still possible we bounce from a higher low and continue this bull trend. That will also be around the 20 daily moving average if we continue to sell off quickly and get there in the next couple of days. So the critical resistance in the triple Qs is right here at 371. And the critical downside support remains 355. That is a very wide range of price action between 355 and 371. So if you're going long at these levels, you should be managing your risk around the 5 EMA, which is currently right around 365. If we start to break through resistance at 371, we're likely going all the way up to 393. And I don't think the bulls are going to push straight to that level without a significant pullback or correction, which means if we break through the support at 355, we're going to be looking for critical support at 347, and below that we could fill the gap at 333, or at least test the support of the breakout at 337. So keep in mind the triple Qs are leading the way higher, and they are likely due for a correction or a pullback, so I do think we will see some more selling in the short term. On the Dow Jones, we were down 0.73% and we closed down below the 5 EMA, and we also closed down below the support at the breakout at 341, but we do have a bull trend, so any of these levels could still be higher lows before the next higher high. If we start to bounce, we're looking for gap fills below 343 and that price target at 346. And we have critical support down here at the rising 20 daily moving average and breakout level at 336. If at any point we break below 336, look for the gap fill below right around 332. On the Russell 2000 IWM ETF, we were down 0.44% and we're still in the trading range between 184 and 188. And the break of this range is likely going to tell us the next leg in the small caps. Below 184, I think we come all the way back down to 180. And if we break 188, I think we continue the bull run to 195. Until we get that breakout below support or above resistance, trade the range between 184 and 188, and then once we get that breakout, you'll have a much better idea of where the next leg in the small caps is coming from. On the ARKK ETF, we were down 0.11%, and we still have the bull trend and the bullish price action above all the moving averages. We simply need to break the resistance at 44.5, and then we can reach our next price target higher just below 46. Critical support remains 43 and 42. On the VIX, we were down 2.26%, and the VIX is still telling us we're in a bull trend while it's trading below 20, and especially while we're trading all the way down here below 15. If we start to get any spike in volatility during a pullback, I expect to see the VIX spiking back up towards 18. On Bitcoin, we're currently up about 5%, and Bitcoin is trying to get a bull breakout above 28,000, which is the higher high breakout we need to see to tell us that Bitcoin is done with this correction. Remember, Bitcoin was in a downtrend, so if we break out to a higher high, that is breaking the downtrend. and that could be telling us Bitcoin's ready to go back into a bull market. And all of this is happening on increasing volume, which you can see down here at the bottom of the screen. So you can get a lot more bullish in Bitcoin if it can start to close above 28,000. And you can also manage your risk at the breakout down here at 27,000. On Amazon stock, we were up about 0.25% today, closing down below the 5 EMA, and this could be a bull flag between about 123 and 128. The bull breakout above 128 brings us to our targets higher at 133 and 134, and critical support remains 123 and 121. If we break 121, we could go through a full-blown correction that could bring us back down towards 113. On Nvidia stock, we're up 2.61% today with another higher high breakout on the daily chart, and we're clearing the break of that resistance and that price target at 427. And my next upside target is all the way up here at 448. This is still one of those stocks I tell you it's not worth trying to short it because it's so bullish, and a lot of people are trying to short it, which just causes more short squeezes. So above 427, you can now use it as your risk level for the price target at 448. But keep in mind, if we break 427, we could see the elevator back down towards 398. So that's a lot of risk to take if we break down below 427. On Tesla stock, we were up 5.34% today with a very bullish day, slicing right through that resistance at 268, and our next upside price target is just below 296, but I doubt we're going straight there without a pullback. Pullback at this point could bring us back down towards 249 and the gap close at 235, and we are still bullish while we're above this breakout at 230. So even if we start to get a pullback, we're likely going to form a higher low and continue to higher prices. So continue to follow the trend and the price action, which is telling us bull trend and bullish prices, which means if we start to get a pullback, it could be very impulsive because we have gone up in a straight line, but that will be our higher low formation before we put in the next higher high. So while I do not suggest chasing Tesla at these prices, if you're long-term holding it, there's still nothing on this chart that says you need to sell it. If we start breaking down below 230 and breaking the bull trend, then we can get a lot more bearish, but we are a long ways away from knowing if that's going to happen. On Apple stock, we were up 0.05%, and Apple is struggling around this resistance at 185, and if we push through it, we could reach that next target just below 190. We still have the bull trend with the bullish price action above all the moving averages, and if we break down below the 5 EMA, we're looking for support at 182, 179, and 177. If we break all of that support, we're likely going to see a full-blown correction, which could bring us back down towards 167. On the financials, we were down 1.19% today, getting that rejection from the 200 daily moving average, which is exactly why I'm telling you in the financials, wait for confirmation of a break above the 200 daily moving average before getting bullish. We can't have a bull trend while we're below the 200 daily moving average, so wait for a confirmation and a break above that level before getting bullish. And right now, the critical support is going to be this breakout at 32.75. On the industrials, we were down 1.14% today, breaking down from that rejection at 106, which means we could be coming back down towards 103 to 102. The healthcare sector was down about 0.52%, still holding above the 5 EMA. As it's developing a bull trend, the longer it can continue to close above 131. The energy sector was down 3.09%, continuing the rejection of that breakdown of the trading range, and from that breakdown, I think it's likely we could be going down and fill the gap at 73. So jumping back over to the S&P 500, I think in the short term, we are still looking for a deeper pullback, especially towards that breakout at SPY 430, but nothing is more important than following the price action in the chart. While it's likely we're going to continue to pull back and put in a higher low, if we start to bounce immediately and we continue into this bull trend, it's possible we just continue to go to higher prices before we get this correction. While I don't think that is the most likely scenario, that doesn't mean I'm correct, so you need to make sure you understand it is still possible we go higher before we go any lower. So let the price action do all the talking and continue to watch support, and right now we need to watch whether or not SPY can hold this level at 436. So continue to stay unbiased and let the price action do all the talking and manage your risk around these critical levels. Don't forget I have my own trade alert service called Bang Trade Alerts, and I also have the Stocks channel Discord. So if you want to find out more information about either of those services, you can click on the links in the description of this video. So thank you for watching, everybody. I hope you're crushing this market. And as always, I will see you in the next episode.